the most exciting UFC numbered event of the year so far is not this weekend, but next weekend. Yuri Prochazka fights Carlos Ulberg, the Black Jag, for the vacant UFC light heavyweight championship. I'm going to be at work for a lot of this. So we're just going to predict the main card and maybe rapid fire the prelims at the end of the video. We'll get right into it with Azamat Murzakanov versus Paulo Costa, a light heavyweight bout. The density maxer, undefeated, coming off a knockout over Alexander Rakic. Paulo Costa's moving up. The weight cut was just too much. I mean, look at this guy. Coming off a win over Roman Kopylov. Big win. These guys aren't big 205ers in the sense of height. I'm sure Paulo Costa's going to walk in massive. And for that reason, there might be a one beside Azamat Murzakanov's record. I don't think Paulo Costa's ever been knocked out, aside from that Izzy fight, right? I think he's only been knocked out once against Izzy. And that was a prime Israel Adesanya. Yeah, he has never been knocked out, right? Yeah, never been knocked out. Azamat Murzakanov is the type of guy to do it. However, I just think the lighter man's skill from Paulo Costa, he's going to be a little bit stronger. He's going to be a little bit more muscular. He's going to have a little bit more padding. So I'm going to go Paulo Costa masterclass here. I'm going to go 30-27 Paulo Costa over undefeated Azamat Murzakanov. This is going to be a fun fight, though. Moving on to John. And look, this is why it's the most exciting card of the year, because what is going to happen here? Just a fight ago, it looks like Dominic Reyes was on a path back to the title. There's a 10 beside his name, but, he could have been top 5, fighting Black Jag. And he came in fat as shit. Facing Johnny Walker, who fought one of my favorite prospects, Zhang Mingyang, and beat him by leg kicks. Now, here's the thing. These guys are both pretty big, but Johnny Walker at 6'6", 206, and you might think he's funky as hell, but damn, he's athletic. He's super athletic. He's got the 5-inch reach on him. Dominic Reyes has dealt with reach before in John Jones. Barely losing to John Jones. Close fight. But man, Dominic Reyes, he came in real fat to the Ulberg camp, and he didn't come out and make any excuses about it. He didn't mention anything about his physique. If this was going into that Black Jag fight, and in place of Black Jag was Johnny Walker, I'd be Dominic Reyes every day of the week. But I think the title run is over. I think the run back to the promised land is over for Dominic Reyes. I got Johnny Walker by 3rd round knockout. I think this fight's going to be amazing. But someone's getting put down. Moving on to a weird feature fight. Josh Hokett versus Curtis Blades. In my opinion, the feature fight should probably be this, but we'll get into that after. Curtis Blades versus Josh Hokett. Josh Hokett's never fought a ranked opponent. He's fought pretty much nobody's in the heavyweight division, and I know he's exciting. I know he cuts great promos. But Curtis Blades has been in there with the best of them. Like the absolute best. Huge reach advantage for Blades. A lot of size on him. I know when they give these prospects a shot up in the rankings like this, there's usually a good reason behind it. Unfortunately, I think Curtis Blades is going to ragdoll him to a 30-27 decision. And I like Josh Hokett. Josh Hokett could be really exciting for this division. If he pulls off this bout, if he pulls off a win here, a knockout, he's ranked in the top 5 at heavyweight come Monday or Tuesday morning. So this is a big fight, but I'm going to have Curtis Blaydes 30-27. And now we move on to the vacant flyweight title. You have Joshua Van, Tatsuro Taira, both really young fighters, both from the east side of the world, both Asian, like I mentioned, east side of the world. Tatsuro Taira's got excellent grappling, and I know Josh Van, he's a scrapper. And if this is on the feet, maybe he can get it done. But 5 rounds is a long time. 25 minutes is a long time to be in there with an aggressive grappler like Tatsuro Taira. Obviously beating Brandon Moreno is no small feat. Lonnie Kavanaugh just did it. But got him out in the second round by knockout. He's lost 1 fight in his career against Brandon Royval. Joshua Van beat Brandon Royval in the fight of the year. Joshua Van's new to this game. And Tatsuro Taira is really young too, so he's new to this game as well, but kind of in different aspects. I feel like Joshua Van being new to this game and his base being his stand-up is different than Tatsuro Taira being new to this game and his base being grappling. If this fight gets to the ground, it might be over. I think we got a new champion. I'm going to go Tatsuro Taira by 3rd round submission. And I think this is going to be a really good fight up until that point. Yuri Prochazka has never lost. In the UFC, he's never lost to someone not named Alex Pereira. Carlos Ulberg, 1 loss in the Dana White Contender Series or the Ultimate Fighter, one of those two. Ulberg's got a little bit more stamina than Roundtree, a little bit more pop, a little bit more size. We saw Yuri struggle with Roundtree, in his last fight. Obviously, ending up knocking him out because Yuri's impossible to get done like that. But Carlos Ulberg's young. He's long. He's got size. This is someone who's kind of got a similar frame to Alex Pereira. And I'm not saying that the Black Jag is Alex Pereira. But I think his pole dancing and stripping abilities and the athleticism that he had being a rugby player might come into play here. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm saying that to be able to pole dance and to male strip and to have that movement in your hips, you're going to be flexible, you're going to be quick, and that's what we know Carlos Ulberg to be. But 25 minutes is a long time to be in there with Yuri Prochazka. 25 minutes is a long time, and especially if you haven't felt that next level power, that Alex Pereira power, that Yuri Prochazka power, that Paulo Costa power, that Khalil Roundtree power. If you haven't felt that, it might come as a shock. And if he lands a clean one early on, I don't know if the Jag's going to recover. This is going to be a great stand-up fight, and I think Carlos Ulberg could cruise through 2 rounds, but I think Yuri gets him in the 4th. And if he doesn't get him in the 4th, I think regardless of what I'm going to predict Yuri knocks him out by, or whatever round it's in, I think it's going to be like an elbow. Like a clinch elbow. And Carlos Ulberg is going to put Yuri out. Or Yuri is going to put Carlos Ulberg out. So we've got a new champ. in both title fights. Let's do some rapid fire stuff. I love Aaron Pico. I think he can find his way to a title shot eventually. I got Aaron Pico by second round knockout against Patricio Pitbull. I'll go Nate the Train 29-28. Sorry, I got some hiccups. I'll go Gamrot 30-27. Randy Brown 29-28. This fight, I don't care, but it's going to a decision. And I'll have Kelvin Gastelum via third round vicious knockout. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's all I got for you.